Hey, good evening. Welcome to the sports show with no name. I've got, my buddy Ben along with me, who I think has a
So,
phone call, or maybe he's texting. I'm not sure what's going on over there.
sharing
Uh,
the link to the live.
there you go. Anyway, I am your host. I'm Chad Bryan. With me, as always, is Ben Bales, even if he is on the phone over there. Um, I'm just kidding, Ben. How you doing, man? It's been a little
Good.
while.
It has been.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Both been
We've,
busy though. Staying
man,
busy though.
logistics are tough sometimes. Um, Well, we are going to talk about one of your favorite things on the show today. There's a whole lot of football to catch up on. There's a lot of stuff happening. Listen, somehow the Browns won a football game, like a real NFL football
Are
game
you
against an
sure?
actual. I was going to say against an actual NFL football team, but they did play the Dolphins, so I don't know if I can really
Yeah.
say
Dolphins don't count this year. They're not very good.
that. Terrible. Wow, they're really bad against the run. Quinshon Judkins pretty easily ran for 3 touchdowns. I feel like if he could have had 10 or 12 more carries, he probably run for 4 or 5 in that game.
Yeah.
Browns had a pick 6. They did a lot of things right. Kept the Dolphins out of the end zone completely. Tua turned the ball over. Tua Tagovailoa. Sorry. He threw 3 interceptions. And did he fumble too? Somebody fumbled. I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
I lost track of it. But yeah, the Browns went 31-6 over the Dolphins. But yeah, first there's a crazy story at it. Well, that's not crazy. I don't know. I guess maybe to some people it's kind of crazy. So there's a guy who he plays wide receiver in high school. He plays for Heber Heights Wayne High School in Dayton, around Dayton anyway. Committed to Ohio State, 12th best recruit overall, top recruit in the nation, second best wide receiver recruit for the class of what class is he? 2026? Yeah, 2026. It depends on which recruiting, which website you look at, because I guess he's listed as the 5th overall prospect. Anyway, Jameer Brown sued the OHSAA over NIL stuff, right? Sued and temporarily he's got to win right now. The judge ruled that for 45 days there's an injunction that is not allowing the OHSAA to enforce those rules on NIL. So for the next month and a half, Jameer Brown can sign NIL deals apparently. Free of charge. I don't know how to say that. But he will not lose his eligibility. There've been plenty of cases of high school athletes who I guess have attempted to go the NIL route and eventually lost their amateur status. Mia Hammond is one that I can think of, a golfer, I think from Columbus. Really, really good high school golfer, signed a deal, an NIL deal, not even sure who with, lost her amateur status, was unable to play for her high school golf team any longer. So now we're at the point where I guess with Ohio included in this, 41, well, maybe it's 42 now, since it's temporary. We'll just say 41 states across the nation, 41 out of 50, and the District of Columbia at the moment, currently allow high school athletes to sign NIL deals. Ben, I know you're not a big fan of NIL. I can't imagine you're a huge fan of NIL in high school. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Here's the thing. Like, it's not that I'm not a fan of NIL,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, like me and you talk about all the time off this, like off camera and off stream. I like the idea of NIL, right? But I don't think players should be signing millions and millions and millions of dollar contracts.
Yeah.
When NIL was simply so they could have their name, image, and likeness in a college football video game. That was the only reason one of the big reasons why NIL was passed, was so then they could make money from college football using their name, image, and likeness. It was never supposed to be what it is today. And you saw last year, Boise State, that mid-major team, got into the college football playoffs and got absolutely embarrassed because they didn't have the talent to keep up with all these bigger market teams. And I think you're going to see that, right? They all wanted the college football playoffs expanded, but then nobody is doubling down on NIL, because the more NIL keeps getting out of hand, the more and more all these top market teams are going to get more and more money to spend on their rosters. And the more and more that it's just going to be 12 of the best, it's literally just going to be 12 of the best blue blood college football teams in the world every year. And you're never going to have mid-major teams even having a chance at a national title.
Well, and I think a lot of people would say, first of all, we never really have had mid-major teams that have a chance at a national title. And I don't know that that's okay or not okay.
No, but like, look in 2009 when Boise State was number 2 in the country.
Yeah. Well, Okay. I mean,
Like,
hey, listen, there's no reason that couldn't happen again. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you go back and look, I mean, there's no documented proof of it, but I'm pretty sure schools were paying guys back then too. It just was a little more under the table and not
they
so
definitely they definitely were.
openly talked about then.
I mean, have you heard the Tennessee story?
Which one?
They used to recruit guys, and then on their way out, they'd hand them a McDonald's bag like it was food.
Oh yeah,
There'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
money inside of it.
yeah. I have
Like,
heard that
yeah, obviously they were paying
allegedly,
players.
right? You know, we don't know. Yeah.
Like, obviously they're paying players, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
it was never meant to be what it is today. Like,
Well, and I think the problem is maybe you're right, but how do you keep it in a box? I mean, when you say that, hey, you can use your name, image, and likeness to make money on X, how do you keep these guys from making money on Y, Z,
I think that
A1, A2, whatever it is?
I think it has to come from, like, I think schools in the NCAA have to come together and maybe pick, like, I don't know, maybe pick 20, 30 businesses around where that school's located. Like in Columbus, they're like all those car dealerships in Columbus are big into the NIL space and all those big restaurants down there. And it's like, okay, you know, maybe you have 20 places that are willing to cough up, a lump sum of cash for NIL.
Yeah.
And maybe you split out your roster among these 20 locations, and they each get whatever they want. Like if somebody wants a car, hey, I'll sign a 4-year deal for 250,000 with this Ford company or this
Yeah.
Ford dealership, or hey, I'll sign this to promote this company over here. Or what
Yeah.
you do is you do like one-time NIL deals, like, hey, I'll film a commercial with you guys promoting my name, image, and likeness for this amount of money.
Yeah. Well, I think
I
maybe
think you just have to set rules to it. I just don't think it should just be
yeah.
free will. Hey, I'm just gonna go sign a 4-year, $12 million deal with whatever I want. Like,
Yeah, I don't disagree with the rules. I think maybe I could do with or without the whole NIL collective thing from each school, right? Where the boosters just basically put millions of donated dollars into not a box, a literal box, but a figurative box, right? Like you've got this. Here's $25 million for the roster this year.
yep.
Use it any way you see fit, right? You want to retain guys from last year. Maybe you got a 3rd round pick who's going to go to the NFL. Well, he sees he can make 2 or 3 million here. Probably going to make $1.5 million signing bonus. As a 3rd round pick, he's probably going to stay, right? So you use it to retain guys. You use it to recruit. You use it to whatever, right? Who knows? Anyway, doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not, I don't want to argue semantics or split hairs about it, but I think maybe I could do without the NIL collectives. I think maybe if it's like, if guys were truly responsible for going out on their own and finding their own deals, or if companies could approach them, and maybe you have to do it the right way, right? Like you can't just like be like, hey, Jack's used cars, like walk up to Carnell Tate on the street and make sure his headset's working. I don't know. If we're doing, some technical issue, it's fine. We're doing some technical work on the show. It's fine. But yeah, I think, are you okay? I think I lost Ben, and that's fine. Sometimes we lose people, and maybe I didn't pay him enough in NIL. I have no idea. But while he gets back on, I guess I will. Well, I don't even know. I'm just going to hide him on the stream. So I think maybe what I'm trying to say is, if you've got an NIL deal that you go out on your own and get, you get approached by a business or whatever it is, maybe you get your own deals and that's it. And there can be, when Ben talked about the larger corporations that are going to be whatever, they're 20 companies, maybe they do like a team deal where they give a team $1 million and you split it out between 100 guys on the roster, whatever it is. I think there's a lot of different ways you could do it. But again, without the NIL whole collective deal, and we're going to get Ben back in here. Let's switch this back up. Ben, what's going on, buddy? You okay?
Right. Yeah, my headset broke. We're good.
That's all right. Did you throw it down? Is it the NIL thing?
I got mad again.
Slammed his headset right to the floor. But no, I was just kind of piggybacking on what you said. I was also trying to watch my screen because there was a lot going on. That might have been a little distracted there, but I think just piggybacking on what you said, maybe without the NIL collective, I could do without that, right? If guys are responsible for going out and getting their own deals, I think it needs to be kind of like filtered through. Remember how you had like the committee on infractions, right? Like everybody has their infractions committee that makes sure that you're not like, doing anything that's a recruiting violation or whatever, right? Just not breaking the rules. Obviously, Michigan doesn't know what that is, but a lot of schools do know what the committee on infractions does. And I think, like, if you want to approach a student athlete, you have to go through this certain committee that they should set up, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I mean, I'm not, I have no idea what the legal ramifications would be of this, but I think a business just, you approach the student athlete through the whatever, it's a law firm, whoever it is, right? They approve or disapprove of the type of deal. And then it's kind of up to them to be like a broker to the student athlete, right? Like, hey, this is a legitimate deal. It's, however many months, however many years or whatever of a leased vehicle, I don't know, TV in your apartment, whatever, from whatever kind of company, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Money, whatever. Food, free food at a restaurant for however many years you're in school. And they go, yes or no, basically, right? Like, are you into this? You're not into this, whatever. The player says yes, the player says no. Then they represent that brand for that period of time. And that can be a little more regulated than, just, hey, I've got $13 million if you want to come to my college and play quarterback. Is that cool? 18-year-old freshman in high school or whatever.
Yeah. And it's and going back to what you said, about that kid from, Dayton and, from Ohio.
Yeah, Jimmy Brown.
I was actually talking about this with Mr. Kobe, right? Obviously, these schools, it would be no different if, you had these schools, that have some of the like super, super rich alumni, right? Because then it's the same thing, right? They can just throw a bunch of money into like a collective bargaining.
Yeah.
And, it won't be any different. St. Ed's, St. Ignatius,
right?
All these private schools are going to have all this money to spend on these kids, and public schools will literally stand absolutely no chance. Even now, we still don't stand a chance.
Yeah, it's tough. It's going to make it a tough divide. Yeah.
But like, if you add NIL money-wise to these high schools, it's not gonna change anything. Like, there's not gonna be any like disparity in between the teams. Like, the best way to do it it'd be exactly like we were talking about with college. Like, your big main sponsors, right? Be like, hey, we'll give you, like a discount on a truck or something like that when you turn 18. Or like, we'll give you like a discount, like a lease on a truck when you turn 17 or when you're looking to buy your car, right?
Yeah, I'm not even sure you can lease a vehicle until I don't know if you have to be 21. Well, I'm not sure, but I really don't know on that.
I mean, like you can co-sign.
But beside the point, yeah.
Yeah, like you can co-sign with somebody, and like, hey, we'll give you a discount.
And that could open up a whole different can of worms. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, just stuff like that, right? Like a local restaurant can be like, hey, we'll give you free food for your 4 years in high school if you just promote our business, once or twice a year.
Yeah, wear our hoodies, do some commercials or whatever. Yeah.
And like, I think that's the way to do it in high school, because you can't just start throwing money around at high schoolers, because then kids aren't going to show up to school.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
It's one of those things where, like, I think as you get older, obviously you mature a little bit more, and you have the ability to,
That's not true for me at all.
Well, most kids do, but
most people will say
you're going to get the ability to mature more and have the ability to know what to do with your money, what not to do with your money. In high school, you're not taught what to do with your money.
No, at all.
Like,
and I think most guys, some guys get to the pros and they don't know what to do with their money.
Yeah.
No one along the line teaches them like how to be, financially sound and smart. And yeah, I think that's true.
Like, dude, you're going to.
Bless you. Did you sneeze?
No, had something on my mouse pad.
Okay.
But like, you're gonna have kids that show up to school with their first car being like a Lamborghini. You're gonna be like, seriously, like,
right,
and that's not like a 17-year-old driving a Lamborghini. Like, come on now, really?
No, I think high school NIL should be maybe. We've got to talk about a cap on some of this, because I don't think it should be like generational money. I mean, now Jameer Brown's family says he was offered NIL deals in excess of $100,000. And obviously, if it's not a large amount, there's no reason to sue, right? They're not going to take the OHSAA to court over a $20 Burger King, meal a week deal. I mean, well, maybe you are. I don't know if it was a Hungry you are. But yeah, I mean, he says that, or his family or his representative, his attorney, whatever, however you want to say it, claims that he was offered deals in excess of $100,000. So again, I don't know. I guess I'm torn on this.
Or it could be one of those things too, where like, in that case, right? Like, hey, if he signs a $200,000 deal, the school gets 75 grand of it, or something like that for the athletics. Like yeah, there's going to have to be a cap on it at some point. Like, yeah, then again,
maybe it's like 15% to the school, 85% to the athlete, something like that, to keep public schools. I mean, to keep it fair to the point where, like you said, I mean, a lot of public schools are going to be out on this because the private school, I mean, let's face it. I mean, some of the alumni are going to be a little more elite, and that's going to happen. I mean, that tends to happen. Not throwing stones or saying one way or the other that's right or wrong. It kind of is what it is.
I mean, it's what it is in college too. I mean, like you said, you have all these boosters that just throw all this money around, and it's like, like you look at all these, like if Miami, Ohio really wanted to, their boosters could cough up a whole lot more money than what they are.
Sure, but doesn't it make you wonder, like, why aren't they?
Because Miami's not known as
the focus is more on academics.
Yeah, the focus is more on, but what I'm saying is, like, if they really wanted, like, the CEO of Starbucks is from Miami, Ohio. You're telling me he couldn't throw $100 million down to Miami and be like, here you go spend it on a roster.
Yeah, go do whatever, go crazy, right? Like go win a national championship.
Like, you're telling me that, like,
do not hire James Franklin.
Like, you're telling me that these guys, like, couldn't do that? Because, like, you're telling me Harvard doesn't have, like, all these boosters, right? Come on now. Like,
yeah, for sure. I think some people it's risk management, right? It's like, okay, well, we could put $1 million into the football program, or we could put $1 million into the engineering department. Yeah. And it can actually make a huge impact, Yeah.
And I think that's what Miami does. I think it's one of those things where it's like, they focus more on the academics because they know that that'll change the world more than somebody going to play football on Sundays.
Yeah, and it's true. And I think a lot of
that sounds bad to say that. But
no, but it's true. It's true. And I think it'll change the world of that person and the people around them when they go play football. And that's their lifelong dream. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's obviously, it differs from the people who are winning, like, the Nobel Peace Prize for, finding, new wrinkles in research of fighting cancer. It's obviously it's different. And that's okay. We love sports, but we also love, like, changing the world in a positive way. Yeah. So it is what it is. You just, it's not, I don't think it's calling out one or the other. It's simply just both things can be true. And I think you're right. I think it's just the focus is more on, it's like I said, it's risk management. Like, okay, we can put $1 million in the football program here. And maybe instead of winning 6 games next year, we win 8 or 9, or we can put $1 million into this cancer research center and, we can make a huge impact on the world. And it's a no-brainer at some point. And then some schools are like, well, we just want to win a national championship. I mean, we already have all the whatever. So that's fine. But yeah, so temporarily, we'll see in 45 days or so when that injunction or whatever that is up, and then a judge will have to rule on that. Who knows? In the meantime, if Jameer Brown signs any deals in that, well, hold on. If he signs any deals in that 45 days, and then if a judge overturns it, does he become ineligible? Can he not play the rest of his high school career? In 45 days, will that almost be over? You know what I mean? Is that the reason for the 45-day? Who knows? It's just kind of a mess right now.
It's kind of like, I remember there was a kid from Shaker Heights. His name was Trey McNutt.
Okay, yeah.
Ohio used to
Oregon,
not allow.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ohio used to not allow kids to play in 7-on-7s.
Okay.
He was a big advocate for, because he would fly to Florida in the offseason and play in 7-on-7s.
Okay.
Like, he would fly to Florida and play in some of the biggest 7-on-7 tournaments in the world.
Yeah.
And realize, like, how good that, like, how much 7-on-7s help and build chemistry. Yeah. So he came back to Ohio, and he literally took OHSA to court over, I think, don't quote me on this, I think he took him to court.
Okay.
Over allowing 7-on-7s in Ohio high school football. And he ended up winning, and now 7-on-7s have become a staple in Ohio.
Okay. All right. I will have to look up. I don't know a whole lot of information on his on that journey. I know he went out to Oregon, and I know he's a pretty good high school player. Obviously,
praise up to him, though. I don't know if I said this to you or not. He broke his leg, though.
Yes, yeah, we did talk. Yeah, we did talk about that. That's
praise up to him, dude. I mean, I saw that kid play at Shaker Heights, and dude, when I tell you he was good, whew.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, his sophomore year at Oregon, he could make some noise.
There you go. Well, hopefully, we always like to
also prayers up to Drew Aller too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unfortunate injury.
It's tough to see that. I mean, anybody, it's not ending his football career. I keep saying career ending, but it essentially did end his college football career.
Yeah.
Which stinks, and they were having a tough enough year. I mean, obviously, their struggles with James Franklin being fired. And we can get into that in a minute. I want to talk about the NFL. Let's go to the NFL first, Ben, because as you fall out of your chair, I want to tell you that maybe you should sit down comfortably for a minute so you don't actually fall out of your chair.
Sorry, I didn't want to talk about the NFL. I was shocked when you said that. That's why I fell out of my chair.
Well, you're going to be shocked when I tell you this, too. The Browns actually won a game on Sunday. There he goes. He's falling out of his chair. I know, but listen, they played the Dolphins. I think everyone expected that could be a winnable game.
Okay, well, that's not an NFL team.
It is because they have the NFL patches. I've seen them on their uniforms and everything. And they're in a division. I can show you the standings.
They're like Bishop Sycamore. They're like Bishop Sycamore.
Oh no, don't do that. No, listen, yeah, they're really bad. The Dolphins are really, really bad. Bad enough that the Browns made them look even worse. I cannot believe the Browns actually finally got over this 17-point hump. They hadn't scored more than 17 points since week 13 of last year. They put up 31 on the Dolphins. Need a little bit of help. They got a pick six, 3 rushing touchdowns from Quinshon Judkins. But yeah, 3 interceptions from Tua Tagovailoa didn't help the Dolphins' cause at all. Not even a little bit, really. But yeah, I don't know. The Browns 2-5. They're obviously going to the Super Bowl, right, Ben?
This isn't golf. You want the better record.
Oh, you want to win most of your games?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, has anyone told them that since 1999 or so?
I don't think so. I think they think it's golf.
I don't think so either. But they did win on Sunday. That was fun to watch. It was nice to see a reasonable game plan from Kevin Stefanski, right? Quinshon Judkins ran the ball 25 times. That's what I've been saying on pretty much every platform I have to speak from. I've said, please give this guy 20 to 25 carries a game. And please, 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 please do not have Dylan Gabriel drop back 700 times in a game, right? To attempt 684 passes and get hit 16 times and sacked 9, whatever. Like, we don't need that. So Gabriel was 13 of 18 on Sunday, 18 pass attempts. That's a reasonable number. That's managing the offense. He didn't turn it over. He took care of it. They ran the ball well, which I think everyone knew they would against Miami because they have one of the worst rushing defenses in the league in a lot of different categories. Their rush defense is really, really bad. I don't know. Harold Finnan had a few catches. No one did anything like crazy in the receiving game, obviously, because Dylan Gabriel only threw for 116 yards. But like I said, the Browns got a full effort. They won a game. They beat the Dolphins. How'd the Steelers do this past week, Ben? Do you know?
I mean, they lost to the Bengals, but
so weird. Weird to see the Browns trade their day one starting quarterback after week 5 to a division rival, who then goes on to beat another division rival after Mike Tomlin said something. He had some things to say about the Browns. And then it felt like Flacco maybe took that a little personally. I don't know. I mean, they forgot. They like you said, the Steelers apparently forgot that the Bengals had receivers.
Yeah, we forgot that Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and decided not to. We decided to let them target him 23 times for.
I mean, unbelievable. Huge numbers. I mean, Flacco throws for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns 10 days after leaving Cleveland, when we said, well, this offense can't run with Joe Flacco because he's terrible. And then he goes to, possibly one of the worst teams in the AFC because of Joe Burrow's injury. Okay.
Mike Cameron just ran out of focus.
I saw that. I thought oh, hello. Give me a 5. Boop. All right.
I'm trying to get the focus.
Well, Ben's very blurry now. All right. This is going to be a fun episode. I can tell already. Oh, that got worse. Well, hey,
Hello? Come on, camera.
Terrible. Change your resolution and see if I'm going to kick you off the show. Change your resolution and come back on, and then we'll see if we can get you back. We're having all kinds of fun technical difficulties. I think it wouldn't be an episode of the Sports Show with no name without some technical difficulties. So we're going to see what Ben's doing. He still looks fuzzy in my little preview screen. So I guess we'll just talk about watching the Bengals beat the Steelers, even though it's like your team's rival going down. He's going to come back in a minute. It's still, to me, it felt like a Browns loss, right? So I'm really glad the Browns were able to come back and actually win a game. To beat the Dolphins after, listen, if they had lost to Miami, I'm still not sure how Mike McDaniel hasn't been fired. I think Kevin Stefanski would have been fired had they lost to the Dolphins. Let's see if we can get him back in. Hey, there he is. How you doing, buddy?
There we go.
You're better. I was just saying, watching that game, watching the Bengals beat the Steelers felt like a Browns loss. Like watching Joe Flacco go to the Bengals and then immediately run their offense 10 days in and look really good doing it. Just really kind of felt like a Browns loss. So I'm glad they were able to regroup, beat the Dolphins on Sunday. I don't think the Browns are on the right track by any means. A lot of people say, hey, there we go. Now we're back. We're back. Listen, they have some winnable games on this schedule, but I think what they're going to do, if they win those winnable games, and I'm not saying you should tank. I don't like to condone tanking, but sometimes winning is a little counterproductive, right? Like, so they're 2-5 now. They're not really a contender. The AFC North is wide open. It's a weird division this year. I've talked about it again on a few different platforms. The AFC North is absolutely bizarre this year.
It is.
It makes no sense.
But
Go ahead.
I will say this though, obviously, I had some technical difficulties with my camera, and I was going to say, when's the last time you heard any Steelers fan say that it wasn't the offense that let them down? In that game against Cincinnati, Aaron Rodgers turned back the clock a couple of years and threw for 4 touchdowns. Yes, he threw 2 picks, but he didn't lose you the game. He threw for 4. He was prime Aaron Rodgers. He was vintage Aaron Rodgers. Threw for 4 touchdowns and kept you in that football game.
Yeah.
And the second most expensive defense in the NFL just completely forgot how to play football down the stretch. Like, over the last couple of years, Chad, you know, I've always texted you saying, hey, the defense won us this football game. The offense was pathetic.
Got to fix the offense. Got to find a quarterback. Got to find an OC. Always. What did I text you Sunday? The defense forgot how to play football. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can't forget about Jamar Chase, right?
Like,
maybe they bought into the hype. Maybe they thought Joe Flacco was completely washed. Like, let's let him stand in the pocket and do whatever. He's not going to hit his guy. But listen, the Browns weren't catching the football.
They weren't. And it's kind of one of those things, too. And it's like, the Steelers never really had an identity, even with Rodgers, right? Like, you knew Rodgers was going to be able to throw the ball. You knew he was going to be able to, take care of the ball, not make mistakes,
For sure.
And the fact that the Jets just got rid of him, and now you look at the Jets and they're 0-6 with essentially the same roster that Aaron Rodgers had.
Yeah.
People are like you're looking at that like, okay, like it definitely wasn't.
They made the change, by the way. They went from Justin Fields to Tyrod Taylor, by the way. They made that change.
I saw that. Yeah. But if you look at the Steelers over the last couple of weeks, right? It's a lot of jumbo package, 4 tight ends, running the football, play action bootlegs with Rodgers, hitting his tight ends on the run. And it's like, if you're doing that, right, like you don't need a number 2. Like everybody's saying, Pittsburgh's going to trade for number 2 wide receiver. I don't think they are, because if you're
they're playing like late 80s, early 90s football right now. You don't need a number 2 wide receiver.
Literally, you have one of the most physical receivers in the NFL in DK Metcalf, and the connection that him and Rodgers are creating, right? You see all these deep contested catches he's making, and then you got Darnell Washington, who's turning into like one of the like a top tier tight end.
He's approximately the size of the Statue of Liberty. Also,
dude, he's huge.
He's unreally. I mean, it's. I can't find a word for how big he is. It doesn't even make sense. He looks huge on the field.
It's like Mike Tomlin said, right? Like when you're facing like a 4-3 defense, right? That's going to rush 4, but then also bring extra blitzers. You're not going to want Pat Freiermuth, who is he's not a great blocker. He's more of a receiving tight end. So why wouldn't you put in Jonnu Smith and Darnell Washington, who are better blocking tight ends?
Yeah, makes sense.
Give you 6 offensive linemen, right? But then you fast forward to Sunday, and you're running a 4 tight end set, but you have Pat Freiermuth lined up as a receiver, and he scores 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, what's with the 4 tight end sets this year? I mean, Ohio State's been doing that a few times too.
I just think it's when you have the offensive line and you have the running backs to run the football, the more blockers that you can get on the defense and and open up holes for your running backs.
Well, and I think too it's because of the way that these sometimes like the defenses have evolved, right? Like you have these hybrid guys who are like safety linebacker guys. I mean, linebackers aren't 6'4", 250 anymore, right? They're like 6'1", 195. They're smaller guys. So all of a sudden now you put 4 tight ends, you can move a team off the line of scrimmage and get some progress.
And the Browns have been doing that too, but I mean they haven't been using 4 tight ends, but they've been running a lot of 3 tight end sets. But when you got good running backs that are good at hitting holes and explosive, right? Like those 4 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, where you pull a tight end or you pull a guard, and get out and block for the guy. Like that's how the Steelers have found success. Yeah. If Rodgers I don't care if Rodgers throws for 90 yards a game and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, listen, Eagles fans would love that. That's what they don't like about Hurts right now.
Speaking of that, did you see that? I give props to Brian Flores for trying something different against the tush push. Did you see what he did?
No, I didn't see it. No.
He lined up his nose tackle completely sideways.
Okay.
The whole thing was that they pushed him back. So like as soon as the ball was snapped, they tried to push him into the center to stop the center's momentum.
Okay.
It worked the first time. They got a penalty. The Eagles or it didn't work, but the Vikings got a offsides penalty.
Okay.
But it's one of those things when it was like, dude,
the Eagles can jump every time on that play, right?
That's what I'm saying. The Steelers got called for a false start on a tush push. But then you look at the Eagles one, the Eagles guy moves before the Steelers guy does.
Yeah.
Before the ball is snapped and nothing is called.
For sure. It's getting a lot of hand.
Okay.
I didn't mind the tush push at first. It's getting weird now.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you think after this year, do you think the tush push gets reviewed and ends up getting taken out?
I think it's become too much of a thing. It's like too much of a sideshow this year. With the Eagles ran it like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah. They had it first and goal at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, it can be 5 times in a row. But yeah, I think it's just getting it's too much of a there's just too much crap around it now. I do think it gets overruled next year. But listen, here's the thing. It was effective. It was like kind of fun while it lasted, I guess. And I said on the pregame show that I did on Sunday, I said, well, until the Eagles get their passing game figured out, they're just going to every play of this game is going to be a tush push, right? They're going to try to get whatever they can. And then Jalen Hurts apparently watched the show and went out and put up a perfect quarterback rating. So, yeah, that was a really dumb statement on my part. It happens. It's getting out of hand. I think it does get overruled after this year.
I do as well. And I think it's one of those things, too, and it's like, if you can't do a regular QB sneak and get 1 yard, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe you should just punt or take the field goal. Yeah.
If you have to get creative to do a QB sneak, Joe Flacco was 42 years old or 41 years old doing a quarterback sneak. If he can do it, I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you take the snap and find the crease and lay down. I mean, it's not like a huge athletic play. It's going to be all right.
My favorite one, though, is Aaron. Have you seen Aaron Rodgers this year when the Steelers do the quarterback sneak?
No.
They line it tight end up under center, and Aaron Rodgers kind of just stands there with his hands on his hips. And when the guy gets the first down, he goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. That's because Rodgers is like, I'm not running that. I'm not going in there. I'm not doing that.
It's just funny because then he'll just sit there and he'll just go.
Right. Dude's like, I tore my Achilles basically bringing the flag out on the field. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, it's just funny. He just stands behind him with his hands on his hips, and then if they get the first down, he just goes.
That's ridiculous, man. All right. Well, listen, like I said, the Browns are 2-5.
If I was Pittsburgh, though.
If you were a whole city, yes.
Or if I were the Steelers.
So if you were a whole franchise.
I would keep doing that play, and then eventually just snap it to Rodgers and have like a guy just like sneak out and just dump it off to him.
There you go. Why not?
Because that's what. And if I was the Eagles too, I'd run a fake tush push at some point. They've never ran a fake out of the tush push ever.
I'm surprised that's never happened. I mean, I'm not sure what your options would be. I guess like a little shovel pass you could sneak off, or a jump pass or something. But
you have an extra tight end on the line. You could have him like run out into the flat and just like toss it to him.
Yeah, just a little fade out to the anything really.
Like I'm surprised you don't see you see teams do it now where the tight end comes up under center, takes a snap, and then throws a jump pass. Like just snap it between, like have him go up on his tippy toes and snap it to Rodgers and just have Rodgers dump it off to a tight end or something.
Right. Yeah, why not?
But that's enough of the Steelers. Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else. I want to talk about the AFC North. We are going to talk about the Steelers, unfortunately, because I think the Steelers are no offense, Ben, I think they're the worst division leader in football.
I disagree.
Okay. Interesting. I'm looking through the division leaders, and I can't find a single team. Who do you think's worse?
Let me.
Oh, you're gonna type it. Hold on. He's going to the tape. He's looking up the Dewey Decimal System right now.
New England's 5-2, and we beat New England. That's all I'm saying.
Well, okay, but you beat New England in a transitional phase for New England. I think New England is going to be by week 18 or 19. The Patriots are going to be a different team. Especially if they ever learn to go to Travion Henderson full time in the running game, I think they're going to be a different football team. Drake May looks really, really good right now.
He does, but all I'm saying is that we beat them and they beat the Bills. So
yeah, well, the Bills have kind of fallen off here. The Bills almost got beat by the Dolphins.
Okay, let me put it this way: if we play like we did on Thursday, yes, we're the worst divisional leader in football.
Okay,
but if we play like we have, like a complete game, like we did against the Vikings or the Browns, I think we could beat anybody.
You can't use the Browns as an example. Sorry. I'm sorry. You can't.
But if you look at
Browns did beat the Packers. That's why you can't use the transitive property in football. Like how in the world did the Browns beat the Packers?
I don't know.
What was that?
Dude, the Browns' only 2 wins have come with their all-brown uniforms.
Well, hey, why would they ever even wear anything else?
No, but my point is
they
like
feel good in the dude wipes, I guess.
My whole point is like if you play a complete game where the offense is not making mistakes and the defense is actually doing what the defense is supposed to do and getting stops. Yeah, I think the Steelers team is actually really, really good.
Okay,
but it's just that when we tried to do the whole Mike Tomlin, we're just going to prove that we're better than you, and only rush 4 guys and can't get to the quarterback. Like dude, we didn't blitz.
We're going to do just enough to go 9-8.
We didn't
Yeah.
before the Bengals game, we had sent the second most blitzes in the NFL.
Yeah.
Against the Bengals, we didn't blitz once.
Why do you think that would be? I mean, why would you not blitz Joe Flacco? Is it, I mean,
Because they didn't think the Bengals were going to. No, it's not that they didn't think the Bengals were going to run the football.
Okay.
So they were content with dropping 8 guys into coverage.
Okay.
Or 7 guys into coverage, and then the Bengals proceeded to gash him for 15.5 yards a carry.
I mean, did they not know that Chase Brown existed?
He hadn't been doing well all year. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's the casual Mike Tomlin game where somebody's.
But you have to think at some point, if you lay off him and only bring 3 guys on the right, I mean, he's going to get some yards, right? Like he's going to find something.
That's what I'm saying. Like Mike Tomlin is that guy that he's like, oh well, he's not going to do anything. We're just going to rush 4, rush 3, and we'll be fine. And then he rushes for 200 yards, and Mike Tomlin's like,
is it me from the outsider, or does Tomlin seem very stubborn? Like he doesn't change there's not a whole lot of like go into halftime and change the gameplay. Like I feel like he used to be better at that.
It's not that. It's not that, right?
Okay.
He makes.
Well, you've watched him more than I have, my friend. So yeah, that's why I'm asking.
He makes the adjustments. I will tell you where it doesn't seem like it's changed, right? Mike Tomlin used to give his input on defense.
Okay.
And that's why the defense for years was always so good because Mike Tomlin is a pure defensive coach. Now
he's Terrell Austin hands off now.
Because now Terrell Austin is your primary defensive play caller.
Okay.
And we've known for years the Steelers always hire from within, right?
Yeah.
But these last couple of years, our offense has actually looked kind of decent under Arthur Smith, who was not hired from within.
Okay.
I think if Pittsburgh goes out and hires a creative young defensive coordinator that is going to be innovative and move TJ Watt around and run stunts with TJ Watt, I think this defense could be one of the best defenses.
So why do you think Tomlin's a little more hands off with the defense now? Is he just, just run out of energy with that kind of stuff? I mean, why do you think he's?
I just think it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it's probably like Ryan Day. He's more focused on just being a head coach.
Okay.
And I think there's some times where some situations
day-to-day stuff,
have cost them.
Okay.
Like there was a time last year when they should have used a timeout and didn't, and it came back to hurt them.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things now where he's like, okay, I'm going to focus on, using my timeouts when I should and, giving my input on whether we should go for it on 4th down but I also think having Rodgers on the offensive side of the ball, though, right? He doesn't have to help on the offense as much because Rodgers is going to give his input like, hey, I really think we should go for it here. I've seen this look. I like this play. Let's go for it.
Right? Yeah, I think that's fair. He's like having a coach out there on the field. That's fair.
It's like with Big Ben, right? Like how many times would Big Ben run out there and do a no huddle on 4th and 1 and just throw a quick little screen pass or hand the ball off to Najee Harris and he'd get 3 yards?
Yeah. You're right.
And I just think you need that. And I've texted you this before. The Steelers had their defensive coordinator in-house in Brian Flores.
Yeah.
And you just let him walk.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are shooting themselves in the foot right now because you could have had one of the greatest defenses under Brian Flores the NFL has ever seen, and you just let the guy walk.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine Brian Flores with TJ Watt, Patrick Queen, at the time, Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, I don't want to do that as a Browns fan. It's not a fun exercise.
It's like the Browns with Jim Schwartz, though. Like, you have a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz.
Right.
And Jim Schwartz was literally so creative and innovative with the wide 9, right? Like, look how far out he spreads his defensive line.
Right.
It makes you think, oh, there's a running lane there. And then Myles Garrett 2 seconds later is just, hello.
Yeah. Although Myles Garrett's been in this weird funk where he had a sack on Sunday or whatever, but he's been getting 2 assisted tackles out there. And I get it. It's frustrating to play on the other side of that offense. That offense they've been terrible.
Yeah.
And they looked okay again on Sunday. It wasn't like they found some groundbreaking, lightning in the bottle and they're going to hold on to that for the rest of the year and cruise to a 10-6 record after a 2-5 start or whatever. I don't think that's the case at all. I think, like I said, there are some winnable games on the schedule. They should beat the Raiders. Boy, Geno Smith really looks like he's just.
Geno Smith fell off the face of the earth.
I mean, my goodness, man! I said it on the pregame show on Sunday. I said, unfortunately, I expected him to play terribly, and he did. He didn't play very well at all. I get the offensive line there is terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not very good.
But I feel like Geno Smith's, one of his strengths used to be kind of getting out and moving the pocket a little bit. And
speaking of that, did you see the Kenny Pickett clip?
No.
They put him in down 31 under center. He fumbled the snap and then lost the fumble.
And people are listen, people are here pining for him, going, why can't we just have Kenny Pickett back? I mean, that was our guy. I mean, it sounds like maybe he's not.
You don't want Kenny Pickett, I promise you.
No, it sounds like a can of worms I'm not trying to open. But
So,
let's move on. I want to. Obviously, we know the AFC North is weird. I mean, who would have had the Ravens at 1-5? It's weird, right?
I mean, I think that's going to happen when Lamar Jackson goes out.
Of course, yeah. And I'm worried about his hamstring. I don't know how you feel about like looking at the future of just this season, really, in general. But I worry about him, man. For a guy that's so explosive, I mean, to have a hamstring injury that's this serious now, I mean, it feels like it's going to last. It feels like it's going to linger a while.
So, I agree, and I think that also helps teams focus solely on Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if you've seen his stats over the last couple of weeks; they've not been.
Well, he wasn't doing it. He wasn't having a great year anyway. I mean, he's been atrocious.
Looking at the Browns' schedule, right? The Browns go Patriots, Jets, Ravens.
Yeah. So
you probably lose to the Patriots.
Probably, yeah.
But
they're starting to figure things out. Yeah.
You probably beat the Jets.
Yeah.
You should.
You hope you beat the Jets. My goodness.
You should beat the Jets.
Oh my goodness.
And then
the Jets are. I mean, the Jets are worse than the Dolphins, right? Record wise.
You probably play the Ravens on November 16th, and Lamar's supposed to be back November 9th.
Okay.
So that's a toss-up because he's coming back right off a like you said, right off a hamstring injury with how twitchy he is.
Yeah, it makes me nervous.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
that could be a win for the Browns. We're now looking at the Ravens, right? The Ravens.
He may play, but he also may be physically limited to like standing in the pocket.
Yeah,
on the field, and the Browns have been a nightmare for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
You look at the Ravens. The Ravens go Bears, Dolphins, Vikings.
Okay.
The Bears could be a win because they play them Sunday.
Yeah, well, the Bears. I mean, Caleb Williams and the Bears have been so up and down. They're so inconsistent. They look great at times. And then they look terrible the next week, and it's hard to you don't know what you're going to get with the Bears.
If the Dolphins I could see the Dolphins beating the Ravens though.
Yeah. Well, let's say the Dolphins almost beat the Chargers. Like the Dolphins were playing some good football.
Well, it's a Thursday night, so it's coming off a short week, off the Sunday. Although it is the Ravens no, it's not the Ravens. No, the Ravens go Bears and then Dolphins, and then November 9th, the game that he's supposed to come back is the Vikings.
Okay.
So the Ravens could be 2-7 before they face the Browns on November 16th.
Wow.
And if you're 2-7, I mean, like your season's pretty much over.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I mean, at that point, you might as well just forget. Like let Lamar develop. Or not develop. He's developed. He's fine. Let Lamar just recover.
I agree.
Bring him back next year and just play for a draft pick. At that point, you're already a really, really strong roster. I don't know where their contract statuses are. I don't really know what kind of financial shape they're in with the cap and everything like that. But
it's kind of one of those things too, and it's like kind of like you said, like if the Browns don't do much the rest of the year, right? Like you're gonna get the Browns have 2 first-round picks, right? Like,
well, yeah, but Jacksonville's playing so well. They lost Sunday in London, but Jacksonville is playing well enough that it makes me nervous that pick is going to be like 15-20 for the Browns.
But still, if it's 15-20 and you have 2 first-round picks, there's no way you miss on both.
What? Who are you talking about? You're talking about Andrew Berry.
That is
under
true.
The influence of Mike DePodesta. They could miss on both, Ben.
You
could give the Browns 32 first-round picks, and I have a strong inkling they'd miss on about 26 of them. I mean, sorry.
So
5 of those guys would end up cut before camp. I mean, it's unreal.
So let me put it this way. So obviously the Browns are going to get 2 first-round picks, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the Browns go quarterback.
I don't know that they do now. We talked about this on the show on Sunday. I don't know that they should. I would love to see them go offensive line, wide receiver.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
If you have a top 5 pick, right? If the Browns finish the season like 3-14 or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, we know there's going to be some receivers available.
Sure.
Do the Browns go Cardinal Tate?
Why not? Cardinal Tate, grab the guy from Utah to help you got to stabilize the offensive line because financially, that offensive line is a hole for next year. I mean, they're in bad shape. I mean, they've got a lot of expiring contracts. They've got guys that, Jack Conklin can't stay on the field. He had an elbow injury, then he had a concussion. I joked on Sunday, I think now his elbow has a concussion. I mean, he can't catch a break. Like he can't stay on the field. I don't know. And like I said, the expiring contracts, all the money they've got tied up in that offensive line, nobody's playing well. Guys have clearly, I don't want to say they've hit a wall for their career, but looking in from the outside, it looks like they've hit a wall for their career.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, a lot of those guys have been very, very, very good offensive linemen, very good NFL pros, but not right now, and not in the future. It doesn't appear. Browns are in big trouble on the offensive line. That's a huge area of concern along with wide receiver. So, yeah, I think with your first 2 picks, I think you do have to go offensive line and wide receiver, maybe in that order, which could keep you from Cardinal Tate.
It could, but at the same time, right, if you're the Browns and you really, really want to make a splash too, it could be one of those things like they did what Pittsburgh did, right? Trade for a Pro Bowl receiver, right? Use one of your draft picks, trade him for a Pro Bowl receiver, and then go out and draft that offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're going to have to trade from area of strength. I mean, do you think they trade off the defense? I mean, who do you give up?
I think you straight up trade one of your first round picks for.
Oh, just one of the picks. Okay,
yeah, just trade like picks for a player, kind of like the Steelers did for DK Metcalf.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I don't think if you're the Browns, I don't think you touch the defense.
Yeah, I don't think you want to.
Maybe you draft a corner, maybe later in the draft, but I don't think you touch that defense. The defense has been great this year; they've been fine.
Yeah, I mean, they've been on the field too much, but that's not their problem. Yeah, I think the defense is very good on paper. For some reason, they're still not playing that well on the road.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Usually, it's defense travels, but Browns can't play on the road.
It's really weird. It's a really weird thing. It's a bizarre problem. But I mean, what would the Browns even be without bizarre problems? I want to move on from the NFL. Let's get out of the NFL. We know the Browns stink. Whatever, they're going to stink for a while until they finally start to build this thing from the inside out. Which I don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. But who cares? Let's move on.
Wait, one last question before we move on.
No more questions. What's up?
If the Browns finish any worse than 5 wins, do they fire Stefanski and Andrew Berry?
I sure hope so. I don't think both of them are getting fired. I've said this a lot of times. I don't think it's going to be both of them. I think.
So who do you think goes first?
Kevin Stefanski.
You think it's Stefanski?
Yeah. Listen, here's my thing, and I think good coaches. When you look at a good coaches coach around the rosters that they have, right? We've always talked about like Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer came into Ohio State the year after they went 6-7 under Luke Fickell, and Urban Meyer didn't force, Braxton Miller to be Tim Tebow, and he didn't force anybody to be Percy Harvin. He didn't force anyone to be anybody else from those Florida teams. He sat down and you assess the roster that you have. It's these 100 guys, right? However many guys on scholarship. This is how many starters I have. These are the guys that contributed last year. This is what I see in practice. This is how we can win. And I think the difference between that and Kevin Stefanski is Kevin Stefanski has a system that needs the right mix of 15 to 20 guys, or else it doesn't run.
I agree.
And he has been eternally looking for that mix of 15 to 20 guys. And I really think, and I could be totally wrong, but it just seems from the outside looking in that he is trying to mold his team around his system and force guys into places where they don't fit.
Yep.
Where a better coach would say, okay, listen, this is the roster I have. These are the challenges. Right. Yeah, these are the challenges. These are the pros. These are the cons. This is the strength. This is the weakness. This is the kind of offense we're going to run because this is what I've got right now.
Well, I would say
eventually I may have a quarterback that makes this whole thing run and we can put it together. But for now, this is what we have to do because this is what we have.
I was going to say, play to your strengths. And like I said, Mike Tomlin for years, right?
Yeah.
The Steelers have had Chris Boswell for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the Steelers get in the field range, Mike Tomlin is not afraid to take his 3 points because he knows that it's almost a guaranteed 3 points.
If you keep scoring 3 points and keep stopping teams defensively, you're going to win football games. I know it's boring, but you got to get there.
And earlier this year, right? Earlier this year, when was it? No, it was earlier this year or last year. Okay. Chris Boswell kicked 6 field goals and the Steelers won.
Okay. I feel like that was last year.
It might have been this year.
I can't remember, honestly. I tuned the Steelers now. I'm not going to lie to you.
But I'll give you a perfect example. In the playoffs against the Chiefs in 2015, Chris Boswell kicked 6 field goals. Okay. And the Steelers won 18-15.
All right. Fair enough. There you go. It can be done.
But
it's not exciting. It's not fun.
But the Browns have never had a great kicker. So.
Well, never.
I mean, they had Dustin Hopkins, but.
Phil Dawson. What are you talking about?
I mean, in a long time, they haven't had a good kicker.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine.
I mean, back when you had Phil Dawson, the Browns could have done that. If you give that Browns team this defense,
Phil Dawson was there for some of the worst years in Browns history. That's terrible.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But if you give them that defense, right? You could win games 9-7.
For sure. But they've wasted so many guys' careers. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to college football. Yeah, we're going to get away from the NFL. Let's move back to we're going to go back to school, right? Because school is cool. I think the biggest headline coming out of college football that you and I haven't had a chance to talk about is James Franklin getting fired at Penn State. Yeah, exactly, right? So some guy who was like 1-54 against top 5 teams, whatever. Listen, that aside, I think it's funny because everyone's talking about James Franklin over the last week or so, like he's a really bad guy. I think James Franklin, to me, fits more in the mold of like a Dusty Baker type of guy. Okay. Dusty Baker walked right into that fire that was the Astros after the whole cheating scandal, where and we don't have, obviously, the thing at Penn State was way worse. But James Franklin came from Vanderbilt. He walked into that and said, listen, it was a really dark time in Penn State history, right? It's not worth, I'm not making jokes about it. It's just, it was a really dark time. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
And James Franklin was willing to walk into there and say, hey, look, I have the moral turpitude, whatever. Let's turn this thing around. Kids are going to trust me. The boosters, the fans, whoever, the media, trust me. I can do this. I've got I give him a lot of credit for that. I mean, I really do. I really do. I think it takes a special kind of person to even risk going into that situation. Right. So I give him a lot of credit there. First of all, I don't think getting fired as a college football coach makes you a bad person. I don't even think it necessarily makes you a bad coach. I think sometimes it gets stale. Agree. Yeah, it just gets stale, right? Like the fit isn't the fit anymore. It's like
I think it's one of those things too where if NIL wasn't so big,
yeah,
I think the disparity between like Ohio State, Penn State, and all those other teams wouldn't be as big. Okay, and James Franklin wouldn't have been quoted as bad as he was.
Yeah. Well, so why is he so averse to using the transfer portal though? Because like I feel like Dabo Swinney has the same problem. He won't look at the transfer portal because you see both of those programs starting to slip a little bit, right?
I think it's one of those things when it's like they want to try and prove that they can still win without having to do NIL and transfer portal. Yeah. But in today's world, if you want to win national championships and if you want to win football games, you have to use the talent that is exposed to you in the transfer portal and through NIL. And you're telling me Penn State doesn't have some boosters that can cough up some money?
I mean, when in Rome, right? Like you've got to do it the way. If you want to, if that's your goal, if your goal is not to be, Harvard with, yes, we put a football team on the field on Saturdays, but it's not our main priority. It's not our main focus. We're not going to spend, $50 million a year on the football team because we know they bring in about $13 million a year. We're losing money there. We're losing revenue. A lot of these schools, a lot of these athletic departments they're in the red financially because they spend so much money on the football program that eventually they do get it back. But when you look at like quarter by quarter earnings, I mean, a lot of these teams are in the red. They're losing money every quarter. These schools are because the athletic departments are because of they're pouring so much money into recruiting and travel and every kind of expense that you can imagine.
And I think, and going back to that, right?
Outlandish.
It is, and I think what Penn State needs to do is obviously not easy to find, right? But I think Penn State needs to go out and find a coach like Curt Cignetti at Indiana.
Yeah. Well, he's on the short list.
He's not going to leave. He just signed an 8-year, $92 million extension at Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, but what I'm saying is, right, like obviously not everybody coach can be Curt Cignetti, but what he's built at Indiana is he's established a culture at Indiana.
Yep.
That's the reason why they're 7-0 and they're in back-to-back
seasons. Same way he did at James Madison. I mean, immediately. He came in and immediately changed things around.
And I think,
maybe the Cleveland Browns want to call Curt Cignetti? I mean, would he have any pull in an NFL clubhouse?
I don't know.
Or in a locker room, I should say.
But
it's not baseball.
I think it's one of those things when it's like, I think you need a guy that knows what the Penn State culture is.
Yeah.
Matt Rule played at Penn State, was a linebacker.
A lot of people have mentioned his name. Yeah.
From that area. An old name, Manny Diaz, coach of Duke.
Okay.
Under James Franklin, he was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you need somebody that knows the Penn State culture.
Okay.
And I think that was starting to slip from James Franklin.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I think you get tunnel vision after a certain time, right? When you're trying to you're banging your head against the wall trying to get through and make a breakthrough, literally to make a breakthrough to get to that next level. And I think you get tunnel vision after a while.
And Matt Rule, I told my dad, I said, if Matt Rule goes to Penn State, I think Penn State has their quarterback for the next 2 years in Dylan
Okay.
Raiola. I think
Okay.
Raiola follows Matt Rule to Penn State because
Okay.
everybody seems to love Matt Rule at Nebraska.
Yeah.
And if you give him the kind of pull that Penn State has with recruiting,
Okay.
like,
you think little Mahomes would go to Penn State? Okay.
I mean,
Fair enough.
why? Okay, but besides,
You can't pull off the Chiefs cosplay in that blue and white uniform, though.
you can't. But why leave Georgia and go to Nebraska as soon as they hire Matt Rule?
Yeah. Who are you talking about? Raiola?
Yeah.
Well, his dad played at Nebraska, or his uncle. Somebody played.
He did, but he also said he was a Georgia Bulldog through and through. And then as soon as Nebraska hires Matt Rule, he decommits from Georgia and commits to Nebraska. I get he has ties to Nebraska, but it's kind of funny that you decommit from one of the greatest coaches in college football, in Kirby Smart, and commit to a guy who just completely fluked in the NFL.
Yeah, and what would stop Rule from bringing his dad or his uncle along? And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. They lost to Iowa after Franklin was gone. They lost to Iowa 25-24. So maybe it wasn't James Franklin, but also, without Drew Aller, who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
they've got Ethan Grunkemeyer there trying to run that offense.
Let's be honest, Drew Aller's better than any quarterback on that roster, and it's not even close.
Yeah, for sure.
When you have a guy that you know is going to be there for 3 years, you're not going out desperately searching for a quarterback.
Yeah, it was tough to see him go down, man. I don't like to see injuries, regardless of. I don't care if it's Penn State, Michigan, whoever. I mean, you want to call it Ohio State's rivalry, that's fine, or rival, that's fine. I don't ever root for kids getting hurt. I mean, it's always tough to see. So especially a local kid, he's from here in Northeast Ohio. You want to see him do well. So I don't think it's going to affect his draft status. He apparently had successful ankle surgery. That went well.
I did hear about that.
So I think he's going to be fine. It's a terrible way to end your college career. I'm sure that's going to weigh on him for the rest of his life. But that's how it goes sometimes. There's nothing he can do about it. Not his fault. I know there are people blaming him, honestly. I saw a stock photo of he and James Franklin at the Rose Bowl from however many years ago. And someone commented, they're like, look at him. He's standing up just fine. Like, how can he not play? I'm like, how do you not know that's an old picture? Like, do you think they're taking that picture live as you're reading the article? Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, that made me mad. Sometimes you hope things are sarcasm, and then you look and you're like, well, unfortunately, no. It just seems like common sense escapes this guy completely. So, that's fine. Listen, let's get out of here. But before we do,
we have a special announcement.
There's a thing. Yeah.
There's a thing that might be happening on Friday night.
Okay. Might be.
It is.
It is happening on Friday night. All right.
This guy right here.
You're pointing at me?
Yes.
Oh, you are. It's me.
Brunswick versus Strongsville, Friday Night Football. We are streaming it live on YouTube. And this guy right here is doing the color commentary.
There you go. So if you are not tired of hearing my voice somehow, you can listen to where is it? How can they watch or listen to that, Ben?
I think it's going to be on Brunswick's YouTube page.
Okay.
I think it's going to be on their overall YouTube page. I will figure out 100%. I will get it to Chad. Chad can post it on, all of our social medias.
For sure.
But if you guys want to hear, we're putting on a whole production for, our biggest game of the year. We're hoping it's close to a sellout crowd.
Yeah.
It's going to be our first ever time having, announcers and play-by-play. I was asked to do it. But I wanted it to be, not saying that I couldn't have done it, but, I know Chad has some experience in it. And so that's why I offered the opportunity to Chad, because I know it's something he enjoys doing.
Right.
And, with me being around Brunswick football, I knew we could get him the resources he needed to be successful.
And for sure. Yeah. And I want to first of all, thank you, Ben. Athletic Director Jim Covey, thank you. Head football coach Cole Carter, I appreciate him. I'm going to probably give him I'll give him a phone call tomorrow night. We'll talk with him on the phone a little bit. I appreciate your guys' effort to help me out and to get me all the information I need.
We're gonna have a 3-camera shoot. So we're hoping to put on a good production here. I mean, but the best situation, even if the whole live broadcast goes well, would be Brunswick walking out Friday night with a win against our biggest rival in Strongsville.
Absolutely. That's what
that would be our biggest win.
I always that's what we're rooting for because I'm calling the game and I'm going to be a little bit. I would try to be an impartial announcer, but deep down, that'd be nice.
No, it'd be. But like we said, we appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, of
Mr.
course.
Covey,
I
one of his
appreciate the
biggest things is
opportunity.
all about making it special for the kids.
Yes.
And, a lot of these kids, dream of playing, college football or playing, in the NFL on Sundays and
Yep.
getting to hear their name called in a play-by-play and a color commentary, or, grandparents that can't come to a game but have access to YouTube,
Yes.
getting to hear their kid's name called on a live broadcast is always like, it's always the greatest feeling for those families, especially, if, or like, if a mom's busy or something, or, has to take a kid, another kid to a play or something like that, there's solo parents out there,
Yep.
Getting
All kinds of logistics go into this stuff. You've got
and
multiple kids are doing multiple things. They're always on the same nights at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
just these live broadcasts help, get to watch your kid live out his dream, and any chance that we can help you guys do that in any way. I mean, it's it's our pleasure to make it special for these kids, and
that's awesome. I'm humbled and grateful to be a part of that.
Hey,
to even help any of these families connect that way. It's awesome.
We appreciate you being able to, work some stuff out and being able to make it there for us on Friday night.
Of course.
I know you've been trying to make it to a game, and now you get to. So it'll be fun for everybody. It'll be our biggest game of the year. So if anybody's free and lives around the Brunswick area, Friday night, come out to Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium and.
Yes, and if you can't make it to the stadium, we'll get you the YouTube link.
Exactly.
You can watch, you can listen from home.
Yep.
From your car, on your phone, whatever you can do whatever. But again, I really, really appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate everyone's help. Again,
we're gonna try to do this once a year.
Cole Carter, Bales, everybody, you guys have been very, very helpful to me so far. So I really, really appreciate it. I'm humbled. I'm grateful.
We're gonna try to do this once a year, and we're gonna try and do it for basketball too. So maybe we'll see more of Chad.
Hey, maybe not. Maybe you will. Maybe I would love that. Right? I would love that.
See.
All right. Well, hey, let's get out of here. We've been going on about an hour. I guess it's time to eat dinner. I've got things going on, and everybody has things going on. We're going to try to, I guess I have to eat sometimes, right? You got to stop and eat. So thank you guys for being with us. We'll be back as soon as we can. Sometimes logistics hold us up. We can't do the show every week like the way we want to. Things get in the way, but we will be back as soon as we can. And again, I will hopefully hear from some of you, or at least you'll hear from me a little bit.
Hey,
Friday
if you
night.
come from here on Friday night, say you came from the sports show with no name.
Yes, definitely tell them that. That would be amazing. It won't get you free entry. They might make you pay more, actually, if you say that at the gate. So be careful with that. But yes, that'd be awesome if you would let people know.
Yep.
And comment on the YouTube. I mean, when you jump into the YouTube channel, as you're listening, please comment on the show. Let us know how we're doing. Tell them you came from the sports show with no name, whatever. It'd be great to hear from you guys. So for Ben Bales, I'm Chad Bryan. It was great to have you guys with us for another episode of the Sports Show with No Name. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye. That button's not working, Ben.